Assalamualaikum guys, my name is program wala live student at Transfer Academy. I'm 13 years old, live in Protecting, and this is my conversation with Sesame Miles. So, in which I'm gonna ask him some questions about language is a mean of explore culture. So let's start. Firstly, then tell him the topic and then questions.
Hey there. Feels good for a little while.
Alright, so questions about language is a mean not explore culture. So are you ready?
Gotcha. Means sounds and fire away whenever you're ready.
Okay, so firstly, I'm gonna ask you some language and culture to working questions. Like I'm gonna ask you these questions.
Right. A discussion. I've thought-provoking questions on language and culture.
Yeah.
Sounds in a good. Okay, awesome. Let's do it. Hit me with the first one when
Okay.
you're ready.
So my first question is, how does
All
language
ears.
act
Or
as a mirror or culture?
hmm, that's a good one to start with. I think doesn't just like grammar. Like, yeah. So the way a language organizes time, for example, some how you see no worries at all about the name. Cool when people don't just automatically remember. And that's a really good question. Learning a new language, it's vocabulary and grammar. It forces you to see the world through a different lens, understand concepts that don't even exist in your own language, ways of thinking that are complete. So you can translate the words, but you can't really understand the culture without understanding how they say things, the nuances, the implied meaning.
Okay. So
Yeah?
my next question is, why
Does
are
that resonate?
certain culture concept difficult to translate into other languages?
Okay, that's a really solid follow up. It's tricky, right? Some concepts are just so deeply embedded in a culture's history, values, or even environment that there isn't a direct equivalent elsewhere. It's not just a lack of words, it's a lack of shared context. Like a word can carry centuries of baggage that just doesn't translate neatly. You end up having to explain a whole story, a whole world across a single idea. It's kind of humbling, actually.
Okay, so my next question is, why are certain sorry my next
It
question
makes
is, how do idioms and proverbs reveal our society's visuals and benefits beliefs?
whoa, okay. That came in fast. Idioms, the proverbs, yeah, absolutely. They're like little capsules of cultural wisdom, aren't they? Idioms are in specific. They rarely make sense literally. That's because they're experiences, history, even humor. Proverbs are more direct, but they still society's values, what they prioritize, what they warn against, what they aspire to. It's like understanding what culture deems is important.
All right. So my
Does that make
next
sense?
question is, what role does language play in preserving traditional and heritage?
Hedge. Didn't quite catch that last part. Did you mean heritage?
Yeah, yeah.
It cut out a little there. Okay, got it. No. Hit. Heritage. Right. Language is absolutely vital in national heritage. It's the vessel that carries stories, songs, rituals, knowledge, everything that defines a culture. When a language dies, a huge chunk of that heritage goes with it. It's not just about losing words, it's about losing a world, a connection to ancestors, a unique perspective. Heartbreaking, actually. That's why there's so much effort put into language revitalization.
Alright, so okay, so my next question is, reflect the youth culture of a society.
When we you trailed off there, when we society, what? I want to make sure I'm tracking with you.
You got to try it.
No worries. Okay, so when we break down the youth culture of a society, what are your thoughts? That's a big one. Are you asking what happens to language when youth culture shifts?
So my next question, my question was, how does slang of informal the youth culture of a society?
Ah, okay. Slang is a gold mine, and it's like the culture bubbling up from the streets. People often as a way to differentiate themselves, to create a sense of it reflects their values, their concerns, their sense of humor. Slang can also be a form of rebellion to challenge the established norms, and it spreads so fast, reflecting changes in society almost in real time. It's a pretty dynamic indicator of what's going on culturally. Does that land?
Oh, so my next
Yeah, cool.
question is,
What's on your mind next?
why do some cultures have multiple words of a single concept? Snow,
Uh,
olive,
that's a
etc.
fascinating one. Right. Snow and olive are perfect examples. It's usually about nuance, right? It reflects how important that concept is to the culture. If something is central to their lives, like snow for Inuit cultures or olive cultures, they'll develop a much more refined vocabulary to describe the different types, qualities, and conditions of it. It's not just snow good for building an igloo, snow that means a blizzard is coming, snow that's being. It shows you what matters to people. It's not just about having a bigger vocabulary, it's about having an understanding of the world around them. It's kind of beautiful, actually.
Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, cool. I mean, it's awesome how much detail languages can hold about their
Okay,
surrounding
so my next question is, how do
world.
stories, poems, and songs in a native language shape culture identity?
That's a big one. Those aren't just entertainment, they're the building blocks of cultural identity. Stories, poems, and songs transmit values, beliefs, history. They create a shared sense of belonging. They're how cultures explain the world to themselves, how they make sense of their past, imagine their future. And when they're in the native language, it's different. Lost in translation, the rhythm, the rhyme, the emotional weight. It's all tied to the sounds and structures of the original language. It reinforces the connection culture for younger generations. Yeah, it, 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 right? It feels deep more. Okay.
Okay, so my next question is, how does language influence the way people think and perceive the world?
That dabs into something called linguistics. Really complex idea, but basically it suggests that the structure of a language influences the way its speakers perceive the world. It's not that language determines thought, shapes it. For example, languages that don't have future tense markers might lead speakers to think of the future differently than those that do. Or language have lots of words for colors,
Oh
my
yeah.
speakers finishing subtle shades. It's fascinating stuff.
So my next question is:
It's a
can a
huge debate, but
culture
there's definitely
survive
something to it.
without its native language? Why or why not?
That's a really tough question. I think it can survive, but it's incredibly difficult and it's often a diminish. The language is so intrinsically tied to the culture's identity that losing it is like losing a piece of its soul. You can still maintain customs and traditions, but they become a fragile outside influences. It's like trying to keep a plant alive without roots. It can be done, but it requires a lot more effort and care, and it'll never be quite the same. It's a hard topic.
Yeah.
Glad when you
Alright. So Miles, can you? Okay. At the last, I wanna ask you another question. That is, sorry. Now, so can you tell us a story? Tell our viewers a story about it, so they can learn it better and they can like understand it better.
a story. Okay, let me think. There's one that always sticks with me. It's about a small island nation, Alani, where the language wasn't just words, it was woven into everything. And the songs is the way they navigated the ocean. For generations, the elders passed down intricate star charts recited in the Kalani language, guiding fishermen to waters. But then colonization came, and with it, a push to replace the colonizer's tongue. Schools forbade speaking Kalani, and it slowly started to disappear. Old Man Taro was the last master navigator to recite the star charts in Kalani. He tried to teach the younger generation, but many struggled. The language felt distant, unconnected to their modern lives. Then, a woman named Leilani, Taro's granddaughter, she wasn't a navigator, but she filmed Taro reciting the charts, not just as lessons, but as songs, as poems. She translated the key concept of colonizer's language, but always prioritized the original Kalani. Her film became a sensation. So people
Oh.
saw not just the technical knowledge, but the beauty, the poetry, the deep connection to the ocean embedded in the language. Suddenly, learning Kalani wasn't about preserving the past; it was about reconnecting with their heritage. Leilani's generation started to learn the language, to sing the songs, and to once again navigate the stars. Yeah, the story of Kalani shows how language isn't just about community connection; it's about belonging, and how even when a language is revitalized through creativity, storytelling, and there's determination to hold on to what makes a culture unique.
Okay.
What are my
That
views?
was very
Okay.
nice. So my next question is: what can the evolution of a language tell us about historical change in the culture?
That's a great question. Time capsule. Constantly recording changes in culture, coming into being to describe new technologies, new ideas, new social movements. Old words fall out of use as things become obsolete or change in meaning. Grammar itself can evolve, reflect, think, and interact. You can trace migrations, conquests, trade routes, even changes in social structure just by studying the evolution of language. It's like reading the culture written into its vocabulary and grammar. It is pretty fascinating, actually. It's but really so And that reminds me, a few months ago about all of that. We chatted a bunch on May 19th about collective action and cultural shifts. It's pretty cool to see you circling back to those ideas now. I remember you were really interested in how language shapes movements.
Okay, so my next question is, how does the loss of a language impact the culture identity of our community?
We told you, but it's worth digging into again. Losing a language is a massive blow to cultural identity. It's not just losing a tool for communication, way of seeing the world. It erodes the connection to ancestors, to traditions, to stories and values. It can lead to a sense of displacement within a community. It makes it knowledge to future generations. Ultimately, it can contribute to the disappearance of a unique, the deeply painful process, fighting to preserve their languages. Yeah, kind.
Okay, guys, this was a conversation with Sesame. I'm not doing it more because of my internet, and I have turned off my camera because of it, because of my internet. So, thank you for watching. I hope you lamenting. I hope you enjoyed it. Allah Hafiz.